Do you have a spiritual life?
Well, it sort of depends on what spiritual means.
So what do you think spiritual means? I mean, it is one of those words that kind of needs to be defined for everyone. Some people, it's like their religion, and it's a very specific kind of thing. For some people, it's a very vague kind of yoga and crystals and some meditation classes and stuff like that. And for me, it is the life of the human being that's beyond the physical and the material. That also is a little bit more than just thought, because we have thoughts,
Right.
but those are physical because there's neurons that are bouncing around.
Right. I mean,
So,
I mean, maybe there's some dimension where thoughts exist or something. Because I don't, what is a thought and what is a, I mean, is it? I mean, I'm not sure what thoughts are. Whether there's some manifestation of thought in a way that is different from the physical dimensions we're aware of. And there's certainly things that we don't understand about the universe. But I'm less convinced that there's, say, some super consciousness watching over our every movement and kind of evaluating it against some criteria, and deciding whether we're going to go to one place or another when we die. I think that's unlikely.
right. I think that's very unlikely,
Right.
too. I personally do believe in God, but I don't define God in that way. I would define God as closer to being like science,
Right.
or the energy, the laws that propel science, because science really quantifies. So what is it quantifying?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it does beg the question: if there is some super consciousness, where did the super consciousness come from? So I think the most likely explanation is that complexity evolved from simplicity. That the simple elements over time combined to become more complex and arrived at what we are. It's also possible, though, that we're in a simulation.
That we're in a simulation like the Matrix?
Yeah. Well, different from the Matrix, but a simulation of sorts. Yeah.
Well, this whole world could be a dream.
Could be a dream. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it could be a simulation. I mean, have you ever played like these, like the advanced video games and how realistic they were getting?
I know it is like a whole nother. It is like a whole nother life.
Right.
Yeah. With the goggles and everything, and 3D and
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
It could be that that's what we know to be Earth. Maybe we're some other creature's avatar.
You're blowing my mind.